Torah time! The weekly portion. What's it all about? It really means something. What can it teach me? Turn it. Everything's in it. Hi, welcome to Torah time. I'm Rabbi Cantor Stephanie Shore. And this week's portion is still from the book of Genesis, and it's called Vayishlach. Now, remember, we had left Jacob in a place where he was running away ultimately from his brother because he had stolen his brother Esau's birthright, and he did it in not such a nice way. So remember, his brother was very, very angry with him. Well, Jacob was on his way, and there were angels with him. And Jacob said to the angels, "Go to my brother Esau and let him know that there are gifts for him and that I am right behind you," meaning right behind the angels. And the angels came back to Jacob and they said, "Jacob, we found your brother Esau. He has 400 men with him and he's coming for you." Well, Jacob got very, very afraid, as you can imagine, because he knew his brother was so angry with him. He could only assume the worst. Well, what happened is Jacob decided to divide his camp and all of his belongings, meaning his sheep and his herds and all of the flocks that he had in his possession. And he divided them into two camps, thinking, well, if Esau came from one camp, then at least I would have the other left over. And so in the middle of the night, Jacob takes his wives and his children and he crosses a river and he puts them safely at that place. And then Jacob ends up being all alone. And while he was alone, a man, they say, came to him in the night and wrestled with him all night long. And when the sun was about to rise, the man, or the angel, said, "Let me go." And Jacob said, "I will not let you go unless you bless me." And the angel said, "What is your name?" And Jacob said, "My name is Jacob." And the angel said, "Your name will no longer be Jacob. It will be Yisrael, Israel, because you have wrestled with an angel of God and you have prevailed." Well, he did prevail, but something happened to Jacob. The angel touched him on his hip, and from that time forth, Yisrael, or Jacob, walked with a limp. Well, eventually, Jacob sees Esau coming towards him, and he sees all the men that are with him. And Jacob runs to his brother, and he bows down, hoping that his brother will find some sort of compassion for him. And what does Esau do? Esau embraces his brother. They hug and they make up, and it is wonderful. And Jacob says, "Esau, please accept these gifts." And Esau says, "I have plenty of my own." And Yisrael, Jacob says, No, please accept these gifts from me." And that's a wonderful story of how these brothers ultimately make up after being very, very estranged for such a long time. But one thing that I want to say is that when Jacob wrestled with the man or the angel, I think Jacob was wrestling with his higher self, with the part of him that knew he had done something wrong. He kind of came face to face with the truth of what he had truly done. And because of that, he had this limp that he now had to live with. It was almost a little reminder of the things he had done to his brother. You know, when we do things that we don't feel so good about, it can leave us with a little, let's say, emotional scar that doesn't feel so good to us. But ultimately, we always have the opportunity to go to someone, to ask them for forgiveness, and to make up and to have a healthy relationship based on trust and respect and honor of each other. It's a wonderful lesson we have in this week's Torah portion. Thanks for stopping by. Shalom.
Torah time! The weekly portion. What's it all about? It really means something. What can it teach me? Turn it. Everything's in it.